Okay, today we're going to be talking about capitalization. We'll go through the most basic things and then we'll get a little more specific and look at some examples in your book. So let's get started. We're going to start with the most basic rules for capitalization. These are two rules that you should have learned, that you did learn the first time you learned how to write a sentence in English. Okay, first of all, the first word in a sentence needs to be capitalized. This weekend, Jeff is going to eat tacos. You can see here that the T in this weekend is capitalized. Why? It's at the beginning of a sentence. It needs to be capitalized. The word I, anytime the letter I stands alone as its own word, it needs to be capitalized. Okay. After eating tacos, I will be very happy. Now, these are obviously really simple elementary school rules. Why are we going over them? These days, with texting, with autocorrect, with emailing, it's really easy to kind of skip over these and forget about them. They're very, very important that we follow these simple rules when we're doing academic writing. Next, titles. Every word in a title. When I say title, I mean the title of a book, of a movie, of a magazine article, a newspaper article. We need capital letters in the titles, except for articles, prepositions, and coordinating conjunctions. If you're not sure what those are, look it up online or look it in your grammar book. Those three types of words do not need to be capitalized unless they appear at the beginning of the title or they are the last word in the title. Okay, so for example, the wind in the willows. We've got the wind in the willows. Capital T, capital W, capital W. The is an article, so it's not capitalized here, but it's capitalized at the beginning because it is the first word in the title. In is a preposition, so it's not capitalized. Guardians of the Galaxy, same thing here. Capital letters except for of, which is a preposition, and the, which is an article. Black Hawk Down. Capital letters. Down is a preposition, but it's the last word in the title, so we're also going to capitalize it there. Here's a whole sentence. Scary movie is a very stupid movie. Okay. S in scary, M in movie, capitalized because it's the title, and the rest of the sentence is just written like a regular sentence. Proper nouns. Okay. These are specific or unique nouns. Generally, we think of these as names of places. Sungyungwan University is an old university. Okay, Sungyungwan University is a proper noun. It's the name of our university. So we have a capital S, we have a capital U. Is an old university? Here, university is just a general noun. It doesn't mean a specific university. It could be any university. So we do not capitalize. For brands, same thing. Starbucks Coffee Company has good coffee. Starbucks Coffee Company is the name of the brand, so it's all capitalized, even coffee. But here, coffee is just a general noun, so we don't capitalize the C. Geographic regions. This is one that some people get a little bit confused about. There are many conflicts in the Middle East. Okay, the Middle East is an area. I can point to it on a map. It's a proper noun. I could draw a circle around the Middle East. It contains several countries. It's an accepted region. So we capitalize the M in middle, E in east. We do not capitalize T for the Middle East. I'm currently studying about religions of Central Asia. Again, Central Asia is an area on a map. I can draw a circle around it. It's a region. It's defined. It's Central Asia. We capitalize. Things that do not fit into this category. The southern part of whatever. The southern part of Georgia. Okay. G for Georgia would be capitalized because that's a state in the U.S. But the southern part of it, that's not a region. Okay. The southern part. To me, that might mean one area. To you, that might mean a different area. It's not a defined geographic region. North of Seoul. Okay. Seoul would be capitalized because Seoul is a proper noun. It's a place. But north of Seoul, that's anything north of Seoul. It's not a proper noun. Okay. Again, people get confused with this sometimes. It's just something you need to think about a little, practice, and you should be able to get it. More proper nouns. Names, titles, names before titles, titles before names, and titles as names. Now, don't get confused by this. We're going to go through each of them individually to make sure that you can understand. Okay, first, Professor Lee is a famous professor. Here, his title, okay, is professor. His name is Lee, Professor Lee. So we're capitalizing the P in professor and the L in Lee because we're using it as this person's name. Here, professor is just a regular noun, okay? So Professor Lee is the person's name. We capitalize P and L. Aunt Sarah is my favorite aunt. Again, the A in aunt and S in Sarah are both capitalized because we're calling this woman Aunt Sarah, like it's her full name. So aunt is her title, capitalized. Sarah is her name, capitalized. President Obama did not want Donald Trump to be president. Here, President Obama, it's his title and name. We capitalize both of them. Donald Trump is this person's name. We capitalize D and T. But here, president is just the name of a job. It's not capitalized. Dear Professor Moses. Again, here, you're not even using my name. You're just calling me Professor. That means you're using Professor as if it were my actual name. So it needs to be capitalized. Here, it's a little more obvious. Dear Professor Moses. It's going along with my name. So P and M both need to be capitalized. Okay, and here's kind of the example to help you differentiate. I'll tell my mom versus I'll tell mom. Here, my mom, you're talking about a person, but you're not using mom as her name. Okay? This is like saying I have my hat. Okay? It's something that is yours. So we don't capitalize mom in this instance. But here, I'll tell mom, now you're using it as her name. So it's capitalized. Okay, again, it can be a little confusing. Sometimes you need to just stop and think and figure out how you're using it. The general rule, if you're using a title as someone's name, it needs to be capitalized. Last one, days, months, and holidays. Okay, in 2011, Children's Day, which is always on May 5th, fell on a Thursday. Children's Day is a holiday, so C and D are capitalized. May is a month, so M is capitalized. Thursday is a day of the week, so the T is capitalized. More stuff. Words that are derived from proper nouns. If it's an adjective, if it's the name of a language and it comes from a proper noun, you need to capitalize. Spanish is spoken in Spain by Spaniards. Okay? Spain is a proper noun. It's a place. Spanish is a language. Spaniards are a type of people, but their name comes from Spain and Spanish. So it needs to be capitalized. Canadians live in Canada, but they speak English. Okay? The C in Canadians, C in Canada, E in English. Course titles, but not subjects. This is a mistake I see a lot in people's writing. Because he was a biology major, he took Introduction to Biology. When we're talking about the type of course, we're talking about the subject, we're talking about your major, you do not need to capitalize it. A biology major, where he took a biology class, would not have capital letters. He took Introduction to Biology. This is the title of a course, the title of a class. So it follows the titles rules we talked about before. I for introduction is capitalized. B for biology is capitalized. T for two is not capitalized because it is a preposition. There is an exception though. All students must take English academic writing, even if they are not English majors. Here, biology major was not capitalized. But down here, English major is capitalized. Why? Because English is a language. Okay? That's the one exception. If you're a biology major, a history major, if you are a chemistry major, a business major, you don't capitalize it. But if you're majoring in English, French, Spanish, Chinese, any language, then you are going to capitalize the name of your major. Okay, so now on page 134, we have some practice here. We're going to go through the first 5 together, and then you'll do the rest for homework. So, number 1, before I went to Portugal last year, I studied Portuguese. We have the B in before, the I, P for Portugal, I again, and P for Portuguese. Sam failed History 101 last year because history is his worst subject. Sam is his name, and it's the first word in a sentence. History 101 is the name of a course. Here, history is not capitalized because we're just talking about history in general. Number 3. Professor Lee asked John if he had read Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice. Professor Lee is a name. It's the beginning of a sentence, and P is part of Professor Lee's name. It's his title this time. John is a name. Jane Austen is a name. Pride and Prejudice is the title of a book. So capital P, capital P. We don't capitalize a coordinating conjunction like and. There is a Mr. Pizza restaurant located very close to Heiwa Station. T for there, beginning of a sentence. Mr. Pizza is the name of a business or a brand. Heiwa Station is the name of a specific place. Okay? Heiwa Station is the name of the place, so we capitalize both of them. If you said meet me at the subway station, we wouldn't capitalize it because it's not the name. Some people may say that you should only capitalize the H and not station. In this case, we're saying it's one name, so we will capitalize both. And then number 5. When Korean Thanksgiving falls on a Tuesday or Thursday, it is a 5-day holiday. But when it falls on a Saturday or Sunday or Wednesday, it is only a 3-day holiday. Okay, we have the W at the beginning of the sentence. Korean is an adjective that comes from a proper noun, Korea. Thanksgiving is the name of a holiday. Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, and Wednesday are all names of days of the week, so they're all capitalized. Realize Thanksgiving is a holiday, so T is capitalized, but the word holiday is not capitalized. Okay, so you have 5 more examples here in the book, and then there are the 2 paragraphs that come afterwards. So what you need to do now is finish these sentences and finish the 2 paragraphs, and then we will go over them together in class. As always, if you need any help, feel free to contact me, but make sure that these are ready to go in class.